Hello and welcome back to the Fantasy Playmakers. Big trade just announced. Davante Adams is being moved off of the Packers to the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, this is a massive move for both teams. Huge fantasy implications for guys, both on the Packers and the Raiders. Starting off with just Davante Adams, overall, this has to be a net loss for him. You're going from a team where you're the clear-cut alpha wide receiver. He's still going to be that on the Raiders, but I mean, like, he was really the only good weapon on that team, and you were playing with a top five quarterback, back-to-back MVP. You're not going to have that same type of quarterback play for the Raiders, but I still think, at worst, he's going to be like a mid to high-end wide receiver one. He is still, a top three wide receiver in the NFL, and I think he's going to have a lot of success with the Raiders. For Derek Carr, this is fantastic news for him. I feel like he moves up to that, probably high-end QB2 range. Now he's got Davante Adams and Darren Waller, a stud wide receiver, a stud tight end. He finally has a real wide receiver one on his roster. For Darren Waller, I feel like people may think this is kind of a big negative for him, but I think this will actually really open some things up. Early in the season last year, Darren Waller was really the only guy you had to key in on, and then Hunter Renfrow started to break out later in the year. He's probably the biggest loser from this move, at least on the Raiders side. I still think he's going to be involved, but I don't think he's going to have that, huge target share that we saw him have in 2021. Now, moving over to the Packers, this is rough for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, we've seen him have monster back-to-back seasons, really solid as a fantasy asset, but you're looking at this wide receiver room. There is nothing going on. Davante Adams was that wide receiver room. He is now gone. I don't think they have a ton of cap space. Apparently, A-Rod knew that Davante Adams was going to be gone when he signed that deal. I mean, it is not looking good. And with Rodgers not having, that elite rushing upside or really any rushing upside, he's getting pushed to back-end QB1. If they're not bringing in, another top guy, I feel like you've got to be pushing guys like Jalen Hurts and Trey Lance probably ahead of Aaron Rodgers. It may be a little too early to make that call because we still have to see, how everything shakes out. But he is definitely the biggest loser from this move. I don't really know what this does to the other Packers wide receivers. Like I mentioned, there's not a ton going on there. I feel like there's not a guy right now that you think, takes a huge jump for fantasy. We'll see if they bring in one of these kind of fringe wide receivers, like a back end wide receiver two, and kind of, propel them to be a key contributor. But those are my initial thoughts. Massive trade. I just got the notification. It's 5 years, $141 million extension. Massive, massive contract for Davante Adams. Definitely earned. Good for him. Great for Derek Carr. Bad for Aaron Rodgers. Those are just my initial thoughts. Thank you for stopping by. What do you think of this trade, signing for all these guys involved? Let me know down below, and I'll see you in the next one.